The North Dakota Eviction Notice. What is an eviction notice? Eviction notice, or notice to quit, is a letter sent by the landlord to the tenant notifying them that they should either take or stop a certain action or vacate the rented premises. Eviction notice can be of two types: conditional, when a tenant is given time to remedy the breach of the lease, or unconditional, when a landlord terminates the lease without any alternative options for a tenant. What should an eviction notice include? Information about the tenant and the landlord. The reason for sending the notice. The date by which the tenant should take or stop a certain action. The consequences of non-compliance. The date and way of notice delivery and the landlord's signature in the form of certificate of service attached to the notice. How to evict a tenant in North Dakota. Non-payment notice. According to the North Dakota legislature, rent is considered late when the landlord is not receiving it for 3 days after it is due. If the tenant fails to pay within this period, the landlord should send them a 3-day notice to quit before evicting them. Non-compliance notice. When it comes to other violations of the lease, the state laws require the landlord to send a written notice to the tenant, giving them 3 days to quit the premises. They are not obliged to give the tenant the time to correct the issue. What if the tenant fails to comply? If the tenant fails to comply with the rules of lease, the landlord can file a complaint with the appropriate North Dakota court. If the tenant fails to comply with the rules of lease, the landlord can file a complaint with the appropriate North Dakota court. For district courts, the fee is $80. After that, the tenant should get the complaint and summons by any person over 18 who is not part of the case within 3 to 7 days of the date when the complaint was filed with the court. The tenant's failure to appear for the court hearing might result in a judgment in favor of the landlord by default. If the landlord wins the case, a writ of execution will be issued. Then, tenants will have a specified period mentioned in the writ to move out before they are forcibly removed from the rented premises. But tenants can request a 5-day stay of execution from the court that would give them extra time before they should move out.